Tov, shalom everybody. This is our second class about Hanukah, laws of Hanukah. We have very interesting halachot and questions on this class. Someone went to the synagogue and he saw the Rabbi or the Rabbi lighting the candles. When he came home, his wife says, "No, light the candles here." He says, "No, I don't need to." Why? Because I already heard. And I said, "Amen. All the blessing in the Bet Knesset, can one fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukah by listening to the Hanukah candle lighting in the Bet Knesset?" That's the question. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nihya b'dvaro. Okay. So that's one halacha we are going to discuss. How many menorah we already said? It says should be one or two. I'm sorry, not two. One for every household. Ashkenazim has one for each member of the house. Now, another question: can women be part of a minyan? Can we count women as part of 10? And how is that related to Hanukah? Well, normally you go to the Bet Knesset or anywhere, women are not part of a minyan. Minyan has to be formed by 10 men, that they are obligated for the mitzvah. There is at least one time, maybe more, that you can count women as a minyan. For example, we are 6 men in the synagogue. We don't have a minyan yet. We have to have 10. And all of a sudden, 4 women have showed up in the women's section. They say, "Okay, now we have 10. Let's start." How is this possible? We'll see it today. So save your questions later and let's start. The halacha says that the whole idea of lighting candles in the Bet Knesset is in order to advertise the mitzvah, to publicize the mitzvah. Therefore, we're lighting the candles in the Bet Knesset with blessings, barachot, and even the one that lit the candles in the Bet Knesset have to go home and kindle his menorah with blessings. So you not fulfill the mitzvah by listening it to the Rabbi or the Rabbi doing it in the Bet Knesset. No one fulfills the mitzvah unless you live there. If you live in the Bet Knesset, because it's a special Bet Knesset, like we have here in Young Israel of Dallas, so there's rooms in the Bet Knesset. So those who live there, if they're there, may lit the candles with berachot, and this is their mitzvah, and they can fulfill the mitzvah by doing so. Fine. What's the in which case women and even little children 6 years old and up can be counted as part of a minyan? Does anyone has an idea?
13 years old, maybe?
No, 6 years old and women part of a minyan. There's now 5 men in the synagogue and 5 women showed up, and we says, "Yes, we have a minyan. Let's start." Let's start what?
Lighting to reconnect.
In order to have Hanukah menorah lit in the Bet Knesset, you must have 10 people. When you have 10 people, it's a minyan. So for this special case, special event, since women are also obligated to lit the candles because they participated in the Nes, in the miracle, they can be counted to a minyan. So 5 men in the synagogue, another 5 women appear, showed up. Now you have a minyan, 10 people to advertise the mitzvah of Hanukah. And they can become part of a minyan. Minyan means 10 people. Okay, 10 and up. 15 is also minyan. 11 it's a minyan. And so forth and so on. Also little children. If a mother came with 3 children, 6 years old and up, they counting as a minyan. Okay? That's the halacha, and this is how you can find a minyan form with men and women. So take it off and fix it tomorrow. I don't know. Now let's set the proper time, which is about 15 minutes after sunset, and continues until, which is about half an hour after dusk. It is generally improper to kindle the lights any earlier or later. Someone will not be able to kindle his lights after dusk, but he will be able to kindle them beforehand. We'll see it in the footnote in a minute. But it is necessary, this is a special case you have to do it earlier, we'll talk about it maybe later. It is necessary to fill each lamp with enough oil to last until at least half an hour after dusk. So around when the stars comes out, well, you can't just go out, look at the sky and look for stars. What you need to do, simply, you need to check your calendar. I can highly recommend to use myzmanim.com. That's what I use. So use myzmanim.com. You see when stars comes out. This is the time to light the candles. 6:02, 6:05, depends which you follow the city that you live in. Right?
I'm sorry, what is it again, Rabbi?
It's called myzmanim.com. Zemanim in Hebrew means time. Zman means time. Zmanim, it's plural, time. Everybody, all shuls, I think, using it in America. So I give you all the time for Shabbat candles and so forth and so on. Okay, next. We want, let's say, the proper time to light the candles of Hanukah, it's 6 o'clock. Everyone's ready, and then someone offered, let's eat dinner. And after eating dinner, with Birkat HaMazon, we are doing such a special beracha. Right after, we go to Adlakat Nerot, lighting candles. So we go from one mitzvah to another. Can we do that? Or first thing to do is to lit the candles? Can we wait till everybody finish dinner? Can we eat before lighting candles?
No.
The halacha is very clear about it. When it says, it is forbidden to eat a meal in the evenings of Hanukah until one has fulfilled the mitzvah of kindling Hanukah lights. What's the reason? What's the problem? Who cares? Why did the Rabbi set it up that you must do the menorah first and eating the meal after? Because what happened many times, people have dinner, they drink a little bit, or they don't drink, and what happened is they go to sleep, or they forget, because this is not something you do every day, right? So the first thing you need to do, menorah, Hanukah candles, you finish with that, then at dinner till the middle of the night, no problem. So one of the main reasons is that you won't forget to kindle Hanukah lights. So, if one wants to eat just a little fruit, I don't know, some cookies, drink soda or juice, that's fine. We're talking about a meal that you wash your hands, you see motzi lechem, you see berachot, it's a full meal. People usually after a full meal tends to forget, right? It's not something you do every day. So the nature of one is to miss it. So the Torah, the rabbis warned us first, Hanukah. Next, eat dinner. Another reason, where in the Torah or the oral Torah, who can tell me, there is a mitzvah to eat during the week? Shabbat. Except Shabbat and Yomim Tovim, and holidays. Don't think too hard because you won't find it.
There's
When
none.
there's a bread or.
There's none.
There's no mitzvah to eat during the week.
Right.
You want to eat, fine.
Right.
You don't want to eat. Many great rabbis, they fasted so many days. Special occasion, like Yafas is breed, or that's fine. It's a Seudat mitzvah. Other than that, there's no mitzvah to eat. It's also good for your diet. Right?
It's a mitzvah to bless.
It's a
After
mitzvah
you
to
eat.
bless, right? I can find other ways to say blessings, but since there is no mitzvah to eat, and now there is a mitzvah to lit candles,
Right.
you have a mitzvah for Hanukah, and no mitzvah to eat.
Right. So it's more important.
What's come president's first
Like
priority?
Hanukah, like Hanukah.
So Hanukah takes precedence, right? Good. Let's say the head of the household, which is obligated to lit the candles on Hanukkah, he's not going to be able to make it at 6 o'clock. He's going to be late, either Torah classes, he's traveling. He says, I'm going to be there at 8. 2 hours. It's going to be late, or 1 hour, 7. Now, in this case, can the family have dinner and then lit the candles, or still, no, candles first, eating later? That's the question. So the halacha says, in a case that they're not able to lit the candles at dusk or when the stars comes out, they can be lenient to eat the meal before lights are kindled. What's the reason behind it? Because when the father comes, definitely going to light the candles. Nobody will forget. They come to lit the candles. And so, also, if they used to eat early, I'm not trying. The halacha doesn't try to punish you.
Some
It's
people
like
eat before
breaks the
it's
start,
dark.
right? In the case that the head of the household is weak, right? What if she said, you know what? The mother, I'll lit the candles because she can do the berachot and everything, and I cover for the husband too. And then we eat dinner. Yes, they can. But in this case, we know for sure that the husband will be there anyway for an hour or two. It's better for him to come and do the berachot, not to miss such a great mitzvah that you have once a year. That's it. Okay? It's also forbidden to begin any involved task before kindling the Hanukkah light. You just need to fix something. Today, it takes even more time when you sit by a computer and say, just let me finish this email. I have a few emails. And you find yourself sitting by your computer for an hour and a half. This is called labor. You take your head off the mitzvah. Stop everything you do the mitzvah of Hanukah candles. And it takes 5 minutes anyways. Such kedusha, such saying we're being thankful to God, we are grateful, and we don't forget ever. We're going to talk about it Be'ezrat Hashem today in the gates of Simcha, in the Musar and Ethic class. A little bit more. The halacha says that there are some cases that it's better that the wife will light the candles for the husband, even if he comes later, just 1 hour. In case, for example, he has a store and he always closes, 9 p.m. And they go to the mall here, they're closing at 9-ish, right? And Hanukkah candles should be lit this year somewhere around 5:40, let's say around 6 o'clock. I have to wait 3 hours for him, from 6 to 9. So the halacha says someone who has a business and keeps it open until late in the evening, and he therefore cannot be home at dusk to kindle the Hanukkah lights at the proper time, should instruct his wife to kindle them in his house at dusk on his behalf. This is preferable to having her wait until he returns home later and kindle the light himself. And this is something going to happen every day, every night. It's not that it's a bad traffic. He caught in the bad traffic, and they have to wait for him for 30, 40 minutes. Who knows? Every night it's going to come late.
If this lady's husband is a butcher, and he doesn't get home till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, it's better for her to light the candle.
Okay, you figure it out. Well, what's the reason?
Well,
Because it's 6 o'clock.
myself.
Right. So, it's 6 o'clock. It's a time people just come back from work.
Yeah.
Leading the Hanukah after 9, 10, people are already home. You're not advertising the mitzvah. So there's sense behind it. It's better that the wife will get the candles and you advertise and publicize the mitzvah for everybody, all those who come back from work. You know how many times I hear at the Bet Knesset people saying, if you have a class or something, what day is it? Someone says, I just passed by, it's the 4th day, I saw 4 lights. So you see, it's people see and watch and remind them that this is the 4th day. You can get confused sometimes. It's all right, it's no concept. Okay. Next. The next topic will be, by the way, we're starting to light the candles of Hanukah this year, 2016, at Motzei Shabbat, Saturday night. The halacha says we have to daven, we have to pray a little bit early, so we finish early, as close as we can to the time of dusk, or Tzet HaKochavim, stars comes out, in order to fulfill the mitzvah properly. So you see in many synagogues that this year they will pray earlier, a little bit early. Now I have a question. He says, I couldn't find an olive oil. I just have an engine oil. I have transmission oil. I have plenty of it. Can I use it for Hanukah?
Yes.
The lights.
If you can light it, light it.
If it burns, you can't.
Burn. If it burns, you can't.
I have a pork fat.
Use it.
Use it.
Pig fat.
Yeah.
The best.
The best.
It catches on firecracker. The mitzvah is for you to see the light and light it.
What's the mitzvah, the highest mitzvah to lit the candles?
Oil.
Oil. What kind of oil?
Olive oil.
Why olive
Extra
oil?
virgin olive oil.
Why?
Manteca.
Why? Huh?
Manteca.
Manteca. What's manteca?
It's
Lard, yeah, lard.
So,
come on.
Shemen Zayit,
Yeah.
olive oil. Why? Why it's the best? What did they use in Bet HaMikdash, in the temple?
Same thing.
Olive oil. That was special olive oil. They used to take a special olive from the Galilee area. And there was special bread. And they used to take only the first drop that comes from every olive.
Cracking, yeah.
Wow.
First drop. So this is why, by the way, it took so many days to get kosher olive oil. It took 8 days. Right? So bottom line, that's the halacha. The halacha says that all types of oil and all types of wicks are valid for the use of for Hanukkah lights. Even those oils do not light up the burning wick, and therefore do not produce a steady and clear light, may nevertheless be used. People from outside will see the burning candles. It's enough. Now, of course, you should choose something that doesn't make bad smell. You should enjoy from the mitzvah. And yes, you can go to any store and buy regular oil or regular olive oil. It doesn't have to be an oil that
So cheap now.
it's ready to eat. You know, the one that is good for you. There's olive that it's not for food. It's not a food
No,
grade.
but at the dollar store, they sell olive oil. $1.
Yeah, exactly. Dollar store, and
Can't get
you're not
cheaper
gonna,
than that.
and you're not gonna be able to finish it even, because you pour such a little amount every day. It's no big deal. Don't be stingy with God's mitzvot. Don't be cheap on God, because it's gonna be cheap on you It's going to reflect back to you very badly. Yes.
So this olive oil does not have to have a hitcher in it because
No.
it's not for eating,
No.
right? Just one
No,
mixture.
needed.
Okay.
And the preferred fuel to use is olive oil, which produce a clear and steady and bright light. Today we have the candles that also have a very clear light. They're as good as olive oil. If you want to do olive oil, stop. If you can, just use the regular candle. No smell, nothing. What about using the fragrance, how you said, the
Scented candles.
huh?
Scented.
Scented, thank you. Scented candles. Cinnamon, apple. It lasts for, you can take the thick one, can last for 5 hours. I'm not talking the thick that takes 2 weeks, right? I'm talking about, the mitzvah is 8 days, not 8 weeks. So, it makes a nice smell. There's a table, I saw there was a table, it's called table candles, that has also scent in it, right?
What about
Can you use it for Hanukah? What's going to be the problem? What's the problem? The problem is the following. Remember, the halacha says you cannot get any benefit from it. The halacha is to see, to watch them only.
It's a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah.
Not to smell.
Now, I can get benefit from the smell that comes out of it. Is it forbidden or permitted?
If your intention was to smell it, I would think it's forbidden.
Forbidden.
But if it was not your intention and this is all you had, Baruch Hashem.
Okay, right, I agree with you. There's no problem, even if it's not what you have. You can do it for Shabbat, you can do it for Hanukah. You're not supposed to get benefit from the light. But if you bring good smell instead of no smell or stinky smell, of course it's better. There's no problem. You cannot, if you have outage, you cannot use the lamp as a torch to get it from one place to another.
Oh, okay.
You can't get any benefit out of it. But we'll see in which cases you are permitted to use the light from it. There's outage. It's the only light now in the kitchen, and I can't see anything. Should I close my eyes? The halacha is very strict, at least for the first 30 minutes. Get no benefit out of it. Don't enjoy the light. What should I do?
Take a nap.
It's an option. Let's say I have to do something. I have to go ahead, check the breaker box. The only light I have in the kitchen is the menorah, the Hanukah in the house. You forgot something. Can I use it or not?
No. For the
Everybody
first,
say no?
for the first 30 minutes, no.
You forgot something during these 30 minutes. 10 minutes after lighting the menorah, outage. Something in the menorah is permitting you to use its light.
If you already did the mitzvah,
Say it.
The one in the middle?
What is it? The shamash. This is why we have the shamash. You can take advantage of saying, you know what, I'm enjoying the light that comes from the shamash. It's the only reason we have the
the
shamash.
helper.
The helper. So if you need to use the light from the Hanukah, it will be from the shamash. That's the idea behind it. Yes.
What about the saint candles?
Which one?
The saint candles.
What's
The
that?
saint candle.
What's
He's
that?
talking about the ones that.
They're like white candles, long like this. They have a glass tube that comes in there, and they have but they have like pictures of saints.
Oh, a picture of saint.
Like,
It's a good question. So I have this question many times, right? If you have JC there, if you have Maria, you have a lot of different figures. So Allah says the following.
No.
You may use these candles either for Hanukah or for Shabbat as long as you take off the picture. When they created it, it was for some type of ceremony or something like that. As long as nobody used it, it doesn't call Avodah Zarah.
What if
It's
it's
not
like
either
a
worshipping.
carved sandal? What if it's like a carved candle?
Carved with what?
Carved like
Figures.
like,
You know the candles that are
Okay, so better not to use. Or
Shave it off.
Shave it off and take care of it. Okay? The mitzvah has to be complete for the sake of Hashem, with those who love Hashem and those who follow His Torah and mitzvot. And sometimes some certain people should not be reminded. We have nothing against other religions. We just want to know, we want to focus on what we are supposed to do and not support anything else than that. We have enough on our plate.
This is a good time for Hanukah because it starts on the first day of the week. So all you have to remember is just what day it is. It's the first day of the week, the second day of the week.
It makes it easier.
It makes it easier for a lot of people,
That's for sure. We don't have many years that we have 2 Shabbatot on Hanukkah. Usually it's 1 Shabbat in the middle. This year we're going to have 2 Shabbatot. It's very interesting and very special. It's very special. By the way, on Hanukkah, actually it's not 2 Shabbatot. It's a Shabbat. It's Motzei Shabbat. I'm sorry, I forget what I said. It's going to be only 1 Shabbat. On Shabbat, we're going to have the longest, almost the longest tefillah, because we have to add the special prayers for Hanukkah. And every time we have Rosh Chodesh, Ya'aleh V'yavo, and the Hanukkah blessing, and if it happens on Shabbat, it's even greater.
Are the special prayers in the Siddur just a regular Siddur?
For Hanukkah? For Sephardim, you can find some additions, psalms, that you do after, and it's highly recommended to say these prayers when the candles are lit. The kedusha comes to the house, and this is a very special tefillot on the right time.
Every single day?
Every single day. You saying first night 3 brachot to light the candles, Shechianu, Chasa Nisi. The only one you skip is the next day is the Shechianu. What if you forgot? You forgot to say Shechianu the first night. You know, the second night. But after that, you drop the Shechianu and you do the 2 brachot, and then the additions. Take your time, do the singing, show Hashem that you do His mitzvot with a joy. Okay, let's finish this halach, this part of the class. Continue next week, God willing. Next week, Be'ezrat Hashem. Some guy with an idea, people are saying, I have a beautiful electrical menorah, and I can set it up every day to show its day. Can I say beracha over this menorah? I fulfill the mitzvah by that. If you're saying all wicks and all oils are kosher for Hanukkah. I didn't finish the halacha, but it's clearly said that everything is kosher. Okay, so I want to use this electrical menorah. You see sometimes on Chabad synagogues, they have the big one on the top of the synagogue, and each day of the Hanukkah days, they light 1 candle. Can we do that? So the halacha says the following. Many contemporary poskim have ruled that one cannot fulfill the mitzvah of kindling Hanukkah lights with an electric menorah. And in truth, there is a strong basis in halacha that this is the correct ruling. It has to be oil or wax with wick, similar to what we had in the Beit HaMikdash. That's the idea, to remind us. So you don't fulfill the mitzvah, you don't do your berachot, because all the blessing will be in vain. If you want to add it outside of the house or by the door and electric to remind everybody, that's fine. To be there as publicized, to advertise, to remind people because your menorah is small and the electrical is very big, fine. But the blessing you do over the Hanukah, the kosher one. The other electrical is just extra. The first part, you have a question?
Yes. Is any one day more important than any of the others, or are they all?
They're all equal.
They're all equal.
Every day has its own significance and kedusha. We'll stop here. Be'ezrat Hashem, continue part 2. Musar, ethic, the gates of simcha. Shalom, shalom, on behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation. And thank you, everybody, and thanks to Medina's family. I have to say it all the time.